Shabbat Shalom, Brother Danal. Peace be unto you this Sabbath, Brother Azrael. Folly, man. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Abanawa Yahweh Ba'Hashem Hamashiach Yahushai. That's the Father in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Jesus Christ. The title of this lesson, man, I don't know what to title it, but I thought about naming it saltwater fish versus freshwater fish, man. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to get into it, man. Let's get Romans 9 real first. All right. This is the book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 20. And we're going to read through 23. So we're going to read 4 verses. But yeah, let's start with 20. This is the book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 20. Nay, but, O man, who art thou that repliest against God? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Right, man. So what we're looking at right now is pretty much the potter and the clay, right? The clay has no power over the potter. The potter has full power over the clay, right? So the title of this is freshwater fish and saltwater fish, right? A saltwater fish can't say, hey, I want to be a freshwater fish. And likewise, a freshwater fish can't say, hey, look, I want to be a saltwater fish. It just don't work like that. Keep reading. This is verse 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor? One vessel unto honor, right? Keep reading. And another unto dishonor. So God can do what He want to do. He can make one vessel. He can make one vessel, right? One being, one person unto honor, right? Or unto glory. And one unto dishonor or destruction, right? For example, in a mansion or in a palace, you'll have a king, and the king has plenty of instruments in his house and plenty of vessels in his house. He might have a vessel of gold, like a gold vase, right? And you might have a vessel also that's made out of wood. Now, typically people treat that gold vase way more precious than they treat the vessel made out of wood, the vase made out of wood, or the bowl made out of wood. Or you might say, in today's world, fine china. We might have fine china that stay in a cabinet until the time prepared, right? But everybody uses the plastic plates. Everybody uses the paper plates, right? We do those all the time. So those two different vessels for two different uses. Right. You got, even when you look at school supplies, right? You got mechanical pencils and you got wooden pencils, right? Now, them mechanical pencils you can use for all eternity, right? But then wooden pencils, you can only use them for so long to the point where they get to the little nubs. I remember we used to be in school. People used to write with the little nubs. But it came one point in time where you just had to, hey, say enough is enough and throw that thing away. But the mechanical pencils, man, you could always load it back up with lead. You know what I'm saying? Some are made for destruction and some are made for everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? And so keep reading. I think we stopped at verse. What was that? 21 you were at? Yeah. Keep reading. Verse 22. What if God, willing to show His wrath and to make His power known? So he's just posing a question, right? Because some people don't understand that God can do what He wants to do, right? And so he's posing the question. He's saying, what if God just wants to make His power known, right? By doing what? Keep reading. Endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. What if He just wanted to make His power known by just holding off and letting the wicked be wicked, right? So that he can destroy them. Just like I said, the vessels fitted for destruction, right? Keep reading. Verse 23. And that He might make known the riches of His glory on the vessels of mercy. The vessels of mercy, right? Now the key word in this is mercy, right? Let's get the book of Can I finish that out? Yeah, keep reading. And it says, which He had afore prepared unto glory. Unto glory, right? This is everlasting life, right? This is the kingdom, right? So he's made one vessel fitted for destruction, right? And He only created them just to destroy them, right? Just to show his power, right? Make His power known. Then He has one vessel that was created for everlasting life or glory, the kingdom, right? And a quick example, Salakia, forgive me, but quick example would be like an artist, right? You have music artists, you have artists that actually paint, right? You have these artists, right? They have what you call projects, or they have they're creatives, right? But all artists have masterpieces, right? And if you have a masterpiece, you know you're gonna treat that masterpiece as such. But all artists also have work that they're not proud of. Even in this truth, there's brothers that'll say, you know, I'll go back and look at old videos and man, I just want to delete them. Or you might have an artist like, man, I did this song and I hate it, but everybody loves it, but I hate it. And guess what? You'll delete that song. You don't let that song come out. Or you might have a masterpiece that has a painting, and they're like, man, I'll trade all my pieces for just to get this one piece back from this customer, right? That means, hey, look, all these other pieces don't matter, but this piece right here, this is my masterpiece. So just like that, the Most High is an artist, man. He has some masterpieces that he'll do anything for, and some pieces that he just, you know what I'm saying?
Right. He tells him, he lets us know that he's a potter, right? Which, like the brother said, is a form of an artist, right? Let's get to the book of Ecclesiastes 1:15, right? Let's get, because just like he made vessels for honor and vessels for dishonor, right? Vessels for glory and vessels for destruction. He also made likewise vessels for the saltwater environment and vessels for the freshwater environment, right? Let's get Ecclesiastes 1:15.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight.
That which is crooked cannot be made straight. So the Most High God can do what he wants to do. And look, if he made something crooked, it cannot be straight, right? If he made something straight, it cannot be crooked, right? No matter how much you want to twist things up, right? No matter how much you want vessels of destruction to be vessels of glory, it just cannot happen, right? We can't do that. We don't have the power to do so, right? Let's go to like Christ said. I mean, and I believe it was Paul that proposed the question that said, after we get all this understanding in Romans 9, he said, "What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?" He said, "God forbid," because God can do what he wants to do, right? Let's get the book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 15, because he said something important in Romans 9 and I believe 22, right? That he made vessels for destruction, but vessels of mercy, right? Vessels that were made unto mercy, right? So let's get Romans 9 and 15 real quick.
This is the book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 15. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
Now the Most High God said he will have mercy on whom he will have mercy, right? And he will have compassion on who he will have compassion, right? Now, your everyday Christian will take this verse and say, look, he can show mercy to anybody. He can show compassion to anybody, right? But if any man speak not according to the law and the prophets, right, they're a liar, right? So we have to find out who he said his mercy belonged to, who he showed his mercy to, because he didn't show his mercy to everybody. And if we could see where he showed his mercy to, right, you would have to validate that he can show mercy to anybody with another scripture, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and 1 real quick.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. And it reads, For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob. Jacob was Jacob's name was changed to Israel. He had the 12 sons who became the Israelites, right? When it says Jacob, it's talking about the Israelites. So the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, the Israelites. Keep reading.
And will yet choose Israel.
And he will yet choose Israel. What is he going to choose Israel for? He's going to choose Israel, right, for the vessels of mercy. He's going to choose Israel for the vessels of glory, right? Just like when we see in Romans 9 that who pertaineth the adoption, right, the covenants, and what? The glory. You know what I'm saying? And so now we're seeing whose side he's picking. He's picking the Israelites. He's picking Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the book of Romans 8 and 30 real quick. Right?
Hold that
or no, that's it on that. Just get Romans 8 and 30, right?
This is the book of Romans chapter 8 and verse 30. And it reads, Moreover, whom he did predestinate.
Whom he did predestinate, right? Keep reading.
Them he also called.
Them he also called, right? Keep reading.
And whom he called, them he also justified.
Yeah.
And whom he justified, them he also glorified.
He glorified, right? Who did he call? Who did he choose? It was none other but Israel, right? In this one, we're talking about predestination, man. And before the world was ever created, he made two sides. He created light and darkness, right? Not just talking about daytime and nighttime, but we're talking about righteous and the evil, right? And who did he choose to be righteous? It was none other but Israel. That was Romans 8:30. Let's go to Romans 2:11 real quick, right? Because I had a conversation with somebody earlier, and they brought up Romans 2 to me, and a lot of Christians, colloquial Christians, will read Romans 2 and get the same understanding, which is false, man. You know, because we got to prove everything with this through the law and the testimonies. Let's read Romans 2:11.
Right. This is the book of Romans chapter 2 and verse 11, and it reads, "For there is no respect of persons with God."
There's no respect of persons, right? Now, your everyday Christian will let you know, will bring this to you and be like, God, there's no respect of person with God, man. You know what I'm saying? He loves everyone. You know what I'm saying? But reading this, man, you have to have the understanding that, hold up, did he say he respected anybody? Is there anybody in particular where his respect belongs to, right? And we're gonna get that. Let's get Exodus 2:25.
Exodus 2:25. This is the book of Exodus chapter 2 and verse 25. And it reads, "And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them."
And God had respect unto the children of Israel, right? So when they say God is no respecter of persons, right? When he says this, it's because he only respects one group of people. He only respects Jacob, and the children of Israel, right? He only respects them. So when he says he has no respects of person, it's because he already made clear who he respected and who he didn't, right? You would have to show me elsewhere if he respected anybody else, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs 16:4, right? Proverbs 16:4, just to let you know that all this stuff was before the world even came into play, right? Sides were chosen and vessels were chosen to be on each side. It's kind of like when you're in gym class, right? And y'all about to play dodgeball, and your gym teacher is the one that's picking the sides, right? Or if you're in gym class and or you're in tryouts and the coach is picking the sides, right? God has already picked these sides, right? And he's made the vessels of honor, vessels made for glory, to be the Israelites, right? But check this out. He also made
Salakia too. And you know, the respect of persons thing in context throughout the whole Bible, you see, that's not saying that he loves everybody. That's not saying that he respects everybody. God doesn't care who you are. No, that's saying that he's going to choose the person that you least expect. So the people that you least expect, guess what? God has respect unto them people. And you can't say, well, I do this, I do X, Y, and Z, I accept him and I believe in the name. Guess what? He still don't have respect unto certain people.
Right.
He doesn't give respect to people just because of what they do. He don't give respect to people just because of what they believe. He don't give respect to people just because of their position in the world, right? He gives respect on who he wants to give respect on, and that's what he means by that.
Right.
It's up to him.
And he chose somebody to respect. And the brother said a key thing, right? He chooses the people that you wouldn't expect. That's why he said that it was said unto the Israelites, the land where you are, where you're called not the children of God, right? Where you're called niggas, you're called beaners, spicks, right? Negroes, African Americans, when you're not called the children of God, there where you will be called the children of God. And people will, and in the Apocrypha, they'll tell you in Esdras that people will look at us like, dang, who are these people? And why? And they described our salvation as being strange because they never thought we would be the ones.
Right. And also, we see this it reoccurs throughout the Bible. In the book of Ruth, there was no respect it was plenty of women, but there was no respect of persons. She got chosen. Even with David, there was plenty of other brothers that could have been chosen. But guess what? David was the one. It was plenty of people that could have been the first king, but they picked Saul, right? Even though there's people doubting on certain people, even though there's people looking down on other people, even though there's people oppressing other people, Guess what? The Most High, he don't have respect of person. He don't care where that person is in life. He'll choose them. And that's what he means by he doesn't have respect of persons.
Right. But he does have respect unto Israel, right? Let's get Proverbs 16:4 just to further prove that these sides were picked, you know what I'm saying, and that there's nothing you can do about it, right? People were made for destruction. People were made to be righteous, and people were made to be wicked, right? So bring that out.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. The Lord hath made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Even the wicked for the day of evil, right? So God even made the wicked for the day of evil. He made the righteous, and he also made the wicked, right? So let's get into this. Let's get into this size. Let's get into these sides, right? So you got freshwater fish and you got saltwater fish, right? And I'm gonna explain a little bit what I mean by that. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, and let's start with 11 and 21.
This is the book of Proverbs chapter 11 and verse number 21,
right?
And it reads, Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. Keep reading.
But the seed of the righteous.
But the what?
But the seed of the righteous,
right,
shall be delivered.
The seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Who are the seed of the righteous, man? It's none other than the Israelites, right? Not only we understand that, you got not all Israel gonna be called up for salvation, right? But nonetheless, right, you're seeing the size is the seed of the righteous, and you got the seed of the wicked, right? Read it from the top one more time.
Though hand join in hand.
Though hand join in hand, right? So it doesn't matter how you feel, what you think you can accomplish. If you had a dream that you know what I'm saying, everybody would be holding hands. It doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, the wicked's not going to be go unpunished, and the righteous seed shall obtain that salvation, right? Just think about it. It doesn't matter if just speaking allegorically, right? It doesn't matter if a saltwater fish wants to join hands with a freshwater fish, because if the saltwater fish say, "Hey man, hey, come over here," the freshwater fish, he's gonna go over to that saltwater and get burnt up. You know what I'm saying? That salt's gonna get into his gills and whatnot, right? And he's gonna die. Same thing with the freshwater, right? The saltwater fish come over, you know what I'm saying? He can't take that fresh water. It's missing something for him, right? He needs certain minerals for him to survive, right? So though hand join in hand, it doesn't matter if you want to join hands, right? There's still sides that are chosen, right? And that's why the Lord told us what? Never join hand with thy enemy, right? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to choose a side, right? Whether you're gonna serve righteousness or serve
right,
or serve wickedness, right? And I'm not just talking about everybody against the Israelites, but in the bigger scheme of things, are you gonna serve the Lord? Are you gonna be obedient, keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? Or are you gonna choose to do your own thing, right? And that's really what draws the line. Let's get the book of Matthew 13 and 38 real quick.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 38. And it reads, Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign.
Matthew 13 and 38.
God. Oh, my bad. That was 12. Barakatah. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 38. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom.
Right. And likewise, man, right? This is a parable. It's going to go into the wheat and the tare, man. But likewise, you know what I'm saying? Just like we have the world in this scenario, you also got the ocean, right? So keep reading.
But the tares are the children of the wicked one.
Right.
The enemy that sowed them is the devil.
Right. So amongst this world, man, you got tares within the wheat, right? You know what I'm saying? And the wicked one sows them, right? And so just like in the ocean, right? You got a whole saltwater ocean, right? But somebody might want to plant some freshwater fish in there. Are they going to die instantly? Nah, they're not. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to be a time where judgment's going to be had, right? Keep reading.
The harvest is the end of the world.
Right, the harvest, right? Keep reading.
And the reapers are the angels.
Uh-huh.
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire.
The tares are gathered and burned in the furnace, right? I mean, in the fire, Salaki, right? Because you got, and just like in the scenario I'm bringing out with the saltwater fish and the freshwater fish, right? You got an ocean that's full of salt water. You put fresh water in there, then they literally that sodium is literally gonna burn them up. It's gonna get in between their gills, man, and whatnot. It's gonna get into the system and it's gonna literally burn them up, right? And they're gonna pass away. Keep reading.
So shall it be in the end of this world.
Right. So shall it be in the end of this world, right? We're living in a world right now where God is preparing his people, right? It refers to his people a lot as a sea, right? Or as a great body of water, you know what I'm saying? Within prophecy. And if you just think about it as an ocean, man, he's preparing this new ocean for us, right? And you can only be in that ocean if you're a saltwater fish.
And who the salt of the world? The salt
Dang,
of the
bro,
earth.
just chill, bro.
My bad.
Dang, bro, just chill, right? Hey, man, like minds, it's the spirit, right? But I'm getting there, right? So he's making this whole ocean for us, right? And you can't be in there unless you're a saltwater fish, right? And now we're gonna find out the wicked can't stand in there, right? They're gonna get burned up just like the tear. But who can stay in this this ocean? And we're gonna find out. The brother already snitched on me, but let's go to Matthew 5:13, man.
This book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse
We're
thirteen.
gonna show you why the righteous will be able to withstand, right, this new Jerusalem, this ocean that's being prepared for us, right? Keep reading.
Verse 13. Ye are the salt of the earth.
This is talking about the Israelites, right? Christ is saying that we are the salt of the earth. This is why we'll be able to withstand this ocean, right? And that's why the tears, right, or the freshwater fish will get burnt up, man. And with that, we say Kwam Yasharala, Shabbat Shalom. Stay hard, Israel.
Shalom. Press end.